Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Jade, and this is How to App on iOS. And today we're making a lyric music video in LumaFusion. But I want to let you know what a good music lyric video is. So I'm going to play you one to kick off by somebody who's in our community named Brad. Example. Oh yeah.
Guess I spend my time living between the lines. You got my faith, I lost my pride, and I kept everything inside. And there's a foolish child in me that simply lost his way. And I believed in myself until you slowly took it all away. Get weak, I know that you'll be strong. Those simple things from me to you, the dream is all I need. And I can hardly sleep, I can hardly eat, and I can't believe in anything today. I can't expect things to go my way. And I believed in myself until you slowly took it all away. I try to find the truth that'll ease my troubled mind. What is it that you see, and who is it that you want? You want me to be. And there's a foolish child in me that simply lost his way. And I believed in myself until you slowly took it all away.
Folks, Brad Example, I have an idea. Doug Woods, I mastered that, and the video was put together by a particular person on what's the platform where you pay somebody? Yeah, it's that thing. Doesn't always work out for the best, but sometimes it does, and that one did. That is a lyric video. Welcome to the show. This is How to App on iOS. Guess what, folks? It's episode 350. Can you believe it? We made it to 350 in just over, it was Fiverr. Thank you very much for reminding me, Cy and Brad. So welcome to the show. If you're watching on Facebook, thanks for being here on Facebook. You can always come over here and join us, the community, at YouTube at youtube.com/Jade Starr, or you can watch the show daily on Twitch at twitch.tv/HowToApp on iOS. Yeah, or you can watch it in the browser at howtoapponIOS.com. Cool, all that stuff's out the way. Episode 350. Thank you very much, Thomas Christ. Hey, it's wow, 350. It seemed like only yesterday it was 300. What is this show all about? It's not always about apps. Sure, apps are involved, but it's about you. I'm here to serve you. It's about this music community. It's about making things, creativity. It's about mental health and well-being. It's about releasing that stuff from inside that you know you need to get out, and sometimes it doesn't always come. Using apps as a way to get out, using each other as a way to get things out. We have great channels that provide tutorials like the Sound Test Room and Pete Johns and the Garage Band Guide. Then we've got channels that play our music like Hippie, the Metalhead Hippie Show, and Pete John's YML, GBU Live. There are so many great supportive groups because we all rise together, and that's what this channel is about. So just a reminder, and I will be reminding you every single day by playing people's music, showing you what people are doing. Yeah, good stuff. Let's say hello to people who make up this community. For without you, I would not exist. I would vanish into the ether just like this. I am back. And we have Dave Fox here. Brad Example, who you just heard there. Something else, Brad, while I'm talking about you, we were talking about bass. Not enough bass apps and stuff on this show for bass players. Well, IK Multimedia reached out to me yesterday and offered me the new bass pack for Amplitude. So I will be looking at that next week, especially for you bass players, yeah? Bass, hello, can you go? Good stuff. Not a Box. Hello to Not a Box. Hello to Nina and the Dynamics. I love that Nina has changed her name to End the Dynamics. Cool stuff. Paying to Get, whose music is awesome also. Cy, always effing good to see you. Thank you for posting a link to Brad's music during there. One of the fantabulous admins of the channel. Oh, yeah. Who else? Joe Glenn, hello to you. Hello. Let's get through these names so we can jump in and look at this stuff. We've got Zoltan from Quantavox, who makes the amazing spatializer that we looked at last week, and I've been using a fair bit of in some stuff I'm working on. Thomas Christ, as always, the man never misses a show. I don't know how he does it. Colin Powell, how are you today, my friend? Hello. Joe Glenn, did I say Joe Glenn already? If I'm not, I'll just say it 3 more times. Joe Glenn. It's like saying Candyman. I might disappear and be murdered. What the hell am I talking about? That's what you're here for. This inane rambling. Kim Harden Hudson, as always, love you. Who else do we have? Scott, good to see you. Another one of the lovely admins here. Let me see. Joe Synth Widow, Doug Woods, both the magic couple are here today. I'm having a moment. Oh, and we have to do it. Of course. Doctor's orders. Gets weirder every time. But how long have I been doing that doctor's orders shtick? Eh? Never gets old. Auntie G is in the house. Auntie G is in the house. Ed B is here, the metal man from hell. Maybe not hell, but somewhere close to that vicinity. Anyone else who I have missed while I'm scrolling down? If I miss you, I do apologise. My eyesight is shit. Barry Glenn is here too. Hello, Barry Glenn. I think we're getting close to the end of the list. God, my eyesight's terrible. It never gets old, does it? Let's do it again, Kim. It never gets old. Doctor's orders. See? You make it fresh each day. Thanks very much for the congratulations on the 350 episodes. Roadie's Jam Cave, hello to you. Hello, Laurie Jude, good to see you. Rainbows forever. And thank you to anybody who's just subscribed, because yesterday we reached 1,666. And I took a screenshot because that's evil. So yeah, welcome to new subscribers as well. So, you know, this is more than just an app show. It's kind of like a variety show. And before we jump into the app, let's just have a quick discussion of what's coming up. So we know Songtember's coming. So Songtember is a month where me, Pete Johns, we encourage people to create, record and release a song and try and put it out on a digital distribution or anywhere on YouTube, whatever you want. But we have a month where we try and put together a song and we all support each other through it. So that is coming up. And I'll also be setting off the new Wart Series Season 2, where last season, the We All Rise Together season, we looked at mental health, where this season we're going to be looking at branding, your band, all this kind of thing, writing blurbs for your band, because, hey, how hard is that shit, yeah? Writing a paragraph about yourself. Really hard stuff. So I'm going to be looking at apps that can help you do that and methods that can help you do that kind of stuff. So we're going to be getting into the weeds of how to, you know, promote your music once it's done. And we're going to be carrying on this series with LumaFusion, making video clips and all that kind of stuff. So it's a bit more than apps over here. It all comes back to community, yeah? All right, let's dive in. There's no real price drops on the old app scene today, except for this thing here, which I had to laugh at. Harmonium Plus HD. It says it's $4.99 and now free. But then when you go and download it, it costs $4.99 to use it. How does that work, man? Come on, be cool. What's going on? Don't fuck with me when I'm looking at my apps, yeah? But yeah, there hasn't been too many price apps like that. So we're going to jump straight in to LumaFusion today, and we're going to be looking at one of my projects that I'm halfway through. And why is it halfway through? Because I want to show you some of the process of how I've got to halfway and then what's left to come. So I have this truth demo here, and what I'm going to do so I don't fuck this one up is just make a copy of it. So down here with all of your projects, you can actually make a copy of it really simple. Like this, as Hippie would say. Boom. And we've got a copy. So now I can't ruin the original of this. So this is a track that is on my forthcoming album called Truth. And I decided to make a lyric video for this one. But I wanted to make the actual lyrics that come up a little bit spicy. Yeah, a little bit spicy. And make them dance around and do some odd stuff. So as you can see here by the project, there's a fair bit of stuff going on here. This isn't your, you know, there's a fair bit to animate this stuff. So without further ado, I'm just going to play you this so you can see what's going on. And then we'll jump in and go section by section. Hello, Gary Hubs. Good to see Gary Hubs. And I'll try to make sure I watch the chat for people who come in who are missing. Russ isn't here today, folks. He's watching the football. So cheers to you, Russ. We miss you. And I'm drinking out of my Delegate Giants coffee cup. Oh, that's so good. And it's only, as you can see up the top there, it's 6:14 a.m. So I do need a coffee indeed. Alrighty, let's play you this. So you can see what's going on with the lyric video here. We'll make it full screen and then we'll come back and we'll dive in lyric by lyric and show you how it all goes, yeah? Boom!
When 3/4 of
So I'm going to leave it go a little bit longer here so you can see where I'm up to and how I start putting this together. Boom. Okay, we can stop it right there. Thank you very much for the kind words, folks. It's still a ways off, but as you can see, so now that we're halfway in, let's show you. This is how all of those lyrics began. Okay, so what's really great about iOS is your notepad is an incredibly useful thing. So at any time, just let me do this for a second to make sure nothing on my notepad is showing any codes. All right, we're good. It would be nothing worse than bringing up my notepad and there's a whole bunch of codes that I'm supposed to be giving away on the Patreon, and they're all yours now. All right. So what's really cool here, you can open up a notepad while you have LumaFusion open. So if you just scroll up to your toolbar and you've got notes down here, you can drag this up and you can split the screen. LumaFusion is one of those apps that allows you to actually split the screen. So super cool if you've got lyrics in here, you know, got all your words to your song in here, blah, 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 blah. Look at it. I actually somehow, by typing random letters, wrote Deb, Dan, Dang, Dang, Dan, Fun, Fog, My Go, Fane. There's a song in that. If I sung that like Anthony Kiedis from the Chili Peppers, dang, 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 dong, fun, fog, fun, my graphene. There you go. That would work really well. So you can, we can just slide that out for now, get rid of that. So you can bring up your lyrics to the side and then copy them in really easily, yeah? And so what I've done for this particular song is split each part up into a text section here. So you can see as I go along, there they all are, each bit that matches. Just ignore that bit. So, hello Joshua, good to see you, my friend. We'll double click on one of these. And here are those lyrics. So to get in and actually be able to write these lyrics and paste them in or write them in, down the bottom here, you've got your titles. You can click on that, and to actually access all your features, so the opacity, the size, the font that you would like, that is all by clicking just up here. And you get the edge color, so you can really change all this writing around. At any time you would like to change the text, you just double tap on the actual text, and you'll find up here is where the text box is for you to write in. Oh, let's go up there. So you can write whatever you like in there. So you can organize each section. So when I go back and play this, we'll go back to the start here. Where are we? We want to go here. So you can see.
Become so valueless, our children fight for wars that have no meaning.
And with each text section, it's very easy to drag these and make them how long you want. So this is how I begin. And I'm sure there's other ways to do this. And so there is no absolute correct way. So you can listen to your song and play it again. See where the start is. And stretch that out to exactly where the end is. Now, once you've got all these in place, as you can see, I've gone ahead and done this for the whole song, yeah? That's when it's a lot easier to go in and then chop these things up and change the parts. So that is what I suggest to get the thing kicked off. Have your vocal track down the bottom, even before your images, even before you add any images in, because you can do all those last, yeah? So we'll go back to the start here and just lay, and I did that with all of these, and we're going to go in now and look at the start, because the first one is the craziest one. It's all over the place. I've done some crazy shit to make this happen. Let's zoom right in on this. Okay, so as you can see, there is the first, exactly what I explained to you. This is part of that first line that I did. So I've left a part of this in here. But what I've gone and done is it's chopped all this up. And you'll see there's an effect I've done with this, of the effect of making this look like it's jumping around. Right, so you can see as I move across here, it lightens up and just changes position slightly. And now when you play that, you get this effect of it's jittering. It's so fast you can't even see it, right? And you may be thinking, oh, that's a lot of work just to get, look how quick that was, that little jitter just at the start. It's tiny, it's nothing. Why would you bother doing that? Well, when you do a whole bunch of them together, you get this crazy jittering effect where everything's all over the place, as you can see. Now, another great thing about LumaFusion at the moment, this little T bar up here, I can grab this and make the screen bigger at any time I like, so you can see a little bit more of what's happening. So you'll notice this original line here that you can see on the screen. How can anybody justify the greed and endless overbreeding? I've kept this all the way through this section, and we'll slow this down and show you nice and slow what's going on. So the first line, I've just put a how in here. Then what's important is to get this kind of effect too, is to leave blank spaces and gaps. So it looks like, you know, things are disappearing and popping around. All right, so there's the first one, which just is a slight variation. So basically, all I've done is just chopped, made a split point here. Let's do it again. Let's do it here now. We'll add in one of these split points. So we'll pick the part of the text, and I'm going to hit the scissors down the bottom here. So now we've made a split point in there. Let's move it down to about there, make another split point, and now let's open up this and do something fancy with this one. So let's move this down here. Let's move it down here, and we'll change the face color. So we've got the face color over here, and we can just do whatever we want. Let's make it yellow, and that's all we need to do. We could even fade it out a little bit. We could take down the opacity. So we've got opacity up the top here. Oops, what am I doing? Come hither. There we go. So let's pull the opacity down a little bit like that. And now get out of it. So you'll see and it's such a little touch, but it's going to add this crazy effect. So let's just play and see what it's done. So barely anything. But in the overall scheme of things, these little things are going to create that crazy jumpiness, right? And you can do this in so many different ways. You can use keyframes, and if you don't know what keyframes are, you can go back to the last LumaFusion video I did, where we looked at keyframes. And let's go back here. So again, we've got a space in between here to make it disappear. Then it comes back into that same position, but it's more of a gray color. And again, a space. And now I've taken this how, which was all the way back here, and added in, but a little bit bigger. So it's the same thing. So I'm just copying and pasting these little lyric sections around to get this crazy effect. Now I've got the huge spaces in here, mixing it up with the words of the song, with justify and a whole bunch of things. So this isn't really a you must do it exactly this way. This is a way to make something really crazy and confusing. It's quite random, really. So there's no rhyme or reason to this. I have to admit 100%. This was just random stuff. Look at this one. It takes over the whole screen. So, you know, it's completely off the wall. And then we've even got an effect on this one, just for a bit of fun. So let's see where that comes in with the way the words are sung, where that flash comes in. Totally random, doesn't even go with the song, but it kind of makes it a little bit exciting and a comeback. How did I make that flash? Really simple. As you can see, again, it's that same lyric piece that I've been using the whole way through. So how did I do that? Well, what's really cool is you've got up the top here in your where your little folder is. If you click that, you've got these transitions. These transitions are really cool. So you've got cross dissolves where like you can make it something fade out and then have another thing on top of it and have that fade in, so they cross dissolve into each other. And you should be able to see how I did that. What's it called? Burst. So when I click on that, what's really cool about LumaFusion, when you click on these little transitions, they show you what the little trick does, yeah? Yeah, absolutely, Thomas Christ. Final Cut Pro is $400. This thing's like $20. Man. So yeah, this little burst trick here just gives you a little flash. And that's all I've done. I've just added that in. Let's take it out of here. Let's remove it and we'll show you how we drag it in. So I'm just going to hit delete. And you can see when you're adding, right here, this is very important. I think a lot of people get a bit mixed up when they start using transitions. What's really important when you're adding a transition, make sure that what you're adding it onto, right? So this section of lyric is the exact size that you want it, okay? So you'll see when I add this burst, so I'm just going to drag it onto here. So, and what's cool, you know when it's on it by the fact that LumaFusion lets you know. It gives you a little indicator. Yes, see the little outline underneath? So it's saying, yep, you can add it here. And once it's there, you can actually select it and then drag the arrow. Oh, didn't want to do that. We'll just hit. Oh man, what's going on? Man, I had a crash. What's going on? These things happen, you know. It's iOS. So I can actually drag this, but we're back. Look at that. Look how easy it was. I can now drag this and decide how long I want this transition to actually be. Yeah. So now that we've got that, so it's got a bit of time to breathe, I could even drag this all the way back here and make it a really quick flash. So you can't even see it. It's just a little dot. But we want to get the full effect of the flash. So there it is. Boom. And it fades out. And at the end there, all I've added is a cross dissolve. So you can choose, yeah, no work lost, Ed B. How good is LumaFusion? LumaFusion's constantly saving in the background, constantly working for you. Yeah? It's like cheap labor that you don't have to pay. Peppy, get to it. Thank you, Peppy. So, and at the end of this, I've added a cross dissolve, but you don't need to add a cross dissolve. You can add a dip. So there's a dip, which is a fade out, a cross dissolve, similar kind of thing. Because I don't know why I added a cross dissolve there, but it all works. So, so the next line, we've got a space again, and then we've got the big word greed. So what I was trying to achieve with this particular part of the song was to keep bringing up this whole line. How can anybody justify the greed and endless overbreeding? But all the way through, litter, randomly, justify. Justify there again. Greed. As you saw at the beginning, how. I put that in twice. The key words of the lyric. And again, so you probably guessed by now, endless. There it is. So just points just to flash like subliminal messages, yeah? Over. Breeding. So I've just used this same section underneath, flashing away. And you can see how I've built this underneath. And what's great about LumaFusion 2, you can build on top. You can have lyrics on top of lyrics on top of lyrics. You've got 6 tracks to do all this. You don't want to go too crazy. I think it's, you know, ideal to maybe use 2 to 3, because you got to remember the way it works. Everything goes from the bottom up. So you want your images and your graphics, video, all that kind of stuff. Let's just do this. So you've got your song down the bottom, of course, right on the, see here. Yeah. So these tracks here are all sound tracks, audio tracks. And the one that's highlighted here is your main video track. So you want to always start building from this track here, and anything that goes on top and above you get 6 tracks all up, will sit on top of the video. So think about that like Tetris. So all your video you want down the bottom, or the bottom 2 tracks, and then your lyrics to sit on top, yeah? So again, we'll go through, and yeah, all I've done is just chop, 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 chop. You can see it very clearly here. It's all just a lot of chopping and random spaces just to get this effect. So let's have a look at it again, just so you can see. And this is another cool feature too. When you go into full screen, to go into full screen, you just double tap on the actual video up the top, and you get a full screen. And you'll notice down the bottom here, you've got this little timeline that you can drag along with your finger anywhere along here. Really handy. So let's see what it looks like again, and then we'll move on to the next section. Sweet. So utter chaos there. There's no rhyme or reason to that. I can't really sit here and say it looks like a mess, and it is a mess. But the effect, I'm sure you'll agree, can come out quite interesting. And that was the point behind it. Now the rest of the song, as we're moving on to these next parts, you'll see a bit more standard kind of thing, but again, trying to maintain a variation in your music video, lyric video stuff, because you don't want to fall into the trap of things looking utterly the same, each lyric looking exactly the same in the same place. This is why you have the ability, and we covered a little bit in the last video about importing your own fonts. So if you want to learn how to do that, go back and look at the last LumaFusion video I did. Very easy to find, like freefonts.com, all these websites to download your font, put it in your, download it to your downloads in your files, unzip them and just drag them into the LumaFusion folder. Let's just quickly show you that for a quick refresher. To find your LumaFusion folder, very easy, on my iPad, search for LumaFusion, the letter L. I feel like I'm in Sesame Street. And you have a user fonts folder right here. So all you need to do if you want to add new and interesting fonts to your LumaFusion is just drag your fonts into this folder. So not only will you have the fonts that you get with LumaFusion, you can add interesting fonts to really add pizzazz and shabing to your projects. And you'll see I've used quite a lot of my own fonts in this particular song. Once you add a font into this folder, it is a good idea to go back to LumaFusion, pull up and swipe it away and reboot it. And then your fonts will appear, and I'll show you where they appear. So let's move to the next section of the song. Now, there's a few really cool tricks I've found with this particular track that I'm working on. As I'm adding in these lyrics into here, it's a really good idea to start getting used to blurring your images behind. Now, you don't need to do it immediately, and you'll see a bit further on, see here, as this lyric is coming in here and getting larger, I've made the video behind just blur slightly, and it's blurring along the same time as this image is growing on the screen. So it's putting the lyric front and center. These are just tiny little tricks, yeah? Yeah, Brad, just Google free fonts on, and you will come up with a whole plethora of wonderful pages where you can just download fonts. So yeah, a good idea to get, and I'll show you how we do this blurring out of the image, because this is a lyric video, remember? We want the lyrics to be front and center. And sometimes it can get a bit messy if you've got the busyness going on, because there's a lot going on in this video clip. I'm sure if you've got epilepsy, you've already had a heart attack right now with this video. So how do I do this section here? Again, we started off with the next piece, which, you know, how I've already shown you. Separate your sections. So this line is, when 3/4 of our species still need feeding. So I've chopped it into half. Let's cover the first half. So this clip here was taken from Storyblocks. Storyblocks, if you don't know, is part of LumaFusion up here. It's a, 1001 free fonts. The font's a great one. Font Space, they're all awesome. With Storyblocks, it's a subscription that you pay each month. You get so many cool things. You get videos, you get photos, sound effects, music, a whole bunch of stuff you can use that is copyright free, and you can mess with it, create some great stuff. So this video of this homeless man was nabbed through my Storyblocks. Let's have a look at what I've done with this image of this man. So I just double click on the video and we can have a look at what's going on here. So if I move through the video, you can see at the end here, there's these little colors at the end of the video. And what this signifies is that I've added a transition. So if I back out of here now, you can see on the video, we have a cross dissolve at the beginning down here, cross dissolve to fade in this video. And how have I, and let's double click on the image and I'll show you how I did the blur. I've got to remember how to do it. Now, in the last episode where we looked at keyframing, if you remember, when you've set up a keyframe, so keyframes are an animation point. You can set points on your video to make things happen within this edit screen here. And the key points are normally down. You can see them along here. How do you know you've got a key point set? Along the bottom here on your toolbar, there's a little dot. See this dot down here? That's telling me when I click on that, I've got a keyframe installed in there. And you can see it is this, there's a contrast that's been added and this Gaussian. So there it is there. Now, see, I've just clicked on this 10, and look, now down the bottom here, we've got these key points. So this is where the image, and if you look on the video, where these key points are, here's the video moving along. Then we've got to this point, and that's where it started fading. In between these 2 points, and see up here, this radius has changed. So between there and there, I've set a key point to make that blur. So for the rest of the video, it stays blurred. So it's very simple to do that, to put key points in. Again, go back and watch the last video on key points or keyframes, whatever you like to call them. So, and you'll notice throughout the rest of this video, I've done a lot of that kind of stuff. So we've got this text here. Let's just jump on this. And you can see it pops up from the bottom. There it goes. So very simply again, all I've added is, if we go back to our transitions, you can see here by scrolling down, you've got a, what is it? I've done a push up. Push it real good. Push it real good. What am I doing? And if I keep scrolling through, here it is. Here's the effect. Push up. Boom. Simple. So all I've done is just grab this and dragged it down onto this video. And that allows that writing to push up. So of course, at the end of it, there's a push down at the end here. Because whenever there's a push up, there's a push down. Exactly. There's a yin and yang for everything, yeah? So very simple to do something like that, to make that push up and push down. And all I've done to get it in position is just sit it right there. Sit that piece right there. So there it is. And it just pushes in and pushes away. So these transitions are very handy for doing things like this. We're going to jump to the next one where we've got the word growing. We want the word to actually grow. And of course, there you go. We've got right now, actually, we'll scroll to it. There's a transition for that. There it is right there, grow. And I'll click on it. And there it is. So I've just dragged this over onto here to make that grow and fade. So you see there's another lyric on top of here that I've added just underneath, above. So another lyric there. And again, it's just got a fade in and a fade out. Now I wanted both of these, all of this to fade out together. So you'll see at the end of this section, all of these have a fade out. Nice and simple. And the best thing is you get 1,000,000 tries. Remember this. It's all digital. If you fuck it up, you can just go back and listen to the song to see if it's going to match. Okay, the next section. We've got a new video under here, the video of tablets bouncing around. Again, this is from Storyblocks. Nice and easy. So, looking at this last one, what did we have? We had this grow and fade, and this one has a burst at the start, and then it has a long shrink. So if we go through here, here's a shrink transition. Transitions are really, really easy. Now, remembering, you can do all these tricks with actual key points as well, right? Let's try and do that. Okay, shall we try and do that with something? We could do that. We could get close to it. So let's take this shrink, right? Because this is a test project anyway. So this is the effect of the shrink to make all these words vanish into the distance. And I'm going to remove this effect. Now, I'm going to double click on this text file we have in here. And I'm going to try and do my best with key points to shrink this down. So this is our timeline here that I'm dragging down the bottom. Let's move it to about here. And I'm going to set a key point. So to set a key point, this is how you set your first one. And you'll see a little dot is there now on the screen. So what I want to do is now go to the end of the project. So we'll just hit end. So now you can see the marker's gone right to the end. And this is your second key point. I'm going to put in a second key point. Now, how do you think I'm going to make this happen? Yeah? Well, very easily. Here's my hands. I'm going to use my fingers. I'm going to grab this writing and I'm going to shrink it. I'm going to pinch it. Look at that, pinch it. I've pinched it all the way. Now that's got a bit small for me. I don't think I can pinch it anymore. So I'm going to move over to this toolbar here where the size is, and I'm going to drag it all the way to nothing. And that's done. 2 key points. All I did was add one here and one at the end. So the one at the beginning, there you go, and move to the end and just pinched it all the way down to the bottom. So now when we go back, it's the exact same effect. Check that shit out, boy! Yeah! Yeah! So there's always multiple ways to do this stuff. Keyframes, adding transitions. If you're not comfortable with keyframes yet, use the transitions. Understand how the transitions work and then dive into keyframing. Okay, so that was that one. Pretty simple one, that one. We just had but again, you'll notice this one we had a grow, and this one we got to grow out. So trying to keep these lyrics interesting each time is really, really cool, because you want to keep people engaged in your video. That's the most important thing. You want them to be able to read the lyrics and stay engaged, yeah? I'm glad you're loving the tutorial, Laurie. Remember, folks, you can click the like if you do, and if you don't like it, just click it an even amount of times, like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. All right, the next section here, I've added an image with this picture of hell, and the lyric here, let's just play it.
Religious dogma, fear of guilt, or burning hell for not believing.
So there's a fair bit going on there. Religious dogma, fear or guilt, or burn in hell for not believing. Yeah, hello, John Frank Songs M. Good to see you. So what have we got going on here? You'll notice with the text of each of these, I've tried to make the text a different font to kind of go around the topic. Religious dogma, you see it's kind of a bit rough. Fear or guilt, another different font. Or burn in hell has this kind of metal red color. Changing the colors up for not believing, right? So believing, I've tried to make it a little bit more, a little bit more angelic kind of thing. And again, all of these, let's dive into each one of them and see what's going on with them. So religious dogma basically has a fade in. and just disappears. And remember, not every lyric has to have a fade in and fade out. Sometimes just chopping to the next line has more effect, yeah? So you'll notice here, it chops right on the fear or guilt, fear or guilt. You want to, you know, really find these points in your song exactly. And what's really cool, sometimes you don't even need to listen to the song. You can see in the WAV file, look down here, see how it raises up a little bit there? Sorry, I'm on. You can kind of see in the WAV file where you're transitioning, the way you're pronouncing words. So it helps you out. Sometimes you don't even need to listen to it. So that's right on the fear or guilt. Oh, sorry, we're back here. There it is, fear or guilt. Fear or guilt or burn in hell for not believe. So all of these parts, there's no fancy stuff on them. They're just chop, 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 except for the last one, where, again, I've used the push-up. Just to push it up to sit nice. Now you'll notice it's stopped there. It's still there. Right, so there are actually two parts to this moving piece. So we have, oh, that's right, yeah. So it moves up to its point, stays, and then has a cross dissolve. Again, all of these things are, my brain, let me have some coffee. God, I'm talking so fast. I'm trying to get through as much as possible, folks. We may go 10 minutes over. Let me know if that's painful for you. If you prefer me to talk way too fast and push really hard to get everything done in the next 10 minutes, then it's not. To mark points, yes, I'm pretty sure we do. So we have text points. So you can set points with text. So you can do things like this. You can say hello. See that? So and then hit enter. And you can set points there. So see that? We've left a marker there. And I can set a point here. So you do have points and you can name these points, which is really cool. I don't actually want these, but now I've put them in there. So yeah, you can put in points like that. I don't know how to delete them. That's another thing. I know how to delete them. You just click on them. Click on this little point again. So you can create one and remove one by just clicking on it. So let's get rid of this one here. Boom. Boom. There you go. Yeah, so handy stuff. There's a little added stuff up here in the timeline too. You can click on it like an image at any time. And see this little I button? You can click that and it'll give you information about your video. Tell you the name of the clip, how long it goes for, how many frames are in it. Really cool, yeah. All right, so where are we? We've got to get back to here because we want to get to the Donald Trump bit, yeah? We want to get to my favorite bit. We're nearly there at the Donald Trump bit. So here we are in this one, another very simple one, just a cross dissolve. But in the background, to give it some body, I've used this clip here of this. This again was in Storyblocks. And it's just of these bones. So if we run through it, it's just these bones kind of moving around. But what I've done to really make it work is added some high contrast. So you can use all these clips and really make them look really crazy. You see, I've added this high contrast effect up here. And if I remove it, wow, what a difference. So you can see this is a pile of bones and skeletons and skulls. All right, just spinning by. But when you add that high contrast, just makes it pop, makes it really 3D. So think about that too. Think about what's underneath your writing, because it's really important what's underneath. You know, you want to not let the lyric get lost. So let's talk about the Donald Trump bit, yeah, because there's a bit of depth to this. In this particular part of the song, the actual finished song, I'm singing these words because this was a demo. The words aren't in the song. So let's play it so you can see what's going on. Okay, so what I've done with this, because I hadn't recorded the lyric yet into this song, and the actual the trumpet, that's a trombone I think it is, that's in there, I tried to make the lyrics, the actual lyrics on the screen sing the part. And it's kind of cool because this is how it actually goes when I sing it. Stand up, it is never too late to change your life. Just speak the truth and we all can finally be free to fly. But instead, the lyrics are able to convey the message without having a vocal there. Really cool. You can kind of do that kind of stuff, yeah. But how did I make these? These are a little bit different. All these words here were a little bit more painstaking because I actually made these in the app we looked at this week called GoDaddy Studio. So each of these images are PNGs, transparent PNGs, right? So I had to go in and make every one and save them individually. So you can see there's the image, stand. Because you don't have to just use the text in here. You can actually go into a photo editing app and make your text and then save it as a transparent image. And the reason I did this was using this particular font in LumaFusion. I wasn't able to make it pop. Yeah, I wasn't able to make it pop out. So by going into and we'll show you this. Hopefully I can find it. By going into GoDaddy Studio and making each of these, hopefully I can find the projects. Are they still in here or have I deleted them? I doubt I would have deleted them. Come on, dude. Load image. Oh man, typical. Let's see if we can get these images to load up for us. I know they're somewhere in here. They're probably way down here. The problem was with them that I couldn't create a what's the word I'm trying to think of? A shadow. I couldn't create a shadow for them, right? But in Over, I was able to create the actual words. We'll use this for an example, right? So see this is a very similar text, right? So if I click on these words here and I take away the shadow, looks really boring. Yeah. Hello Vortex, welcome to you. Welcome to the chat. So because I was using the text within LumaFusion but not able to create a shadow behind it, it just didn't pop out. So what I did was create each word here in Over, add my shadow. Now you can see it's got that 3D, it's popping out because I've created a shadow underneath it. And then I saved each individual word to make up this whole section. So now we can scoot back over here, disregard changes. And now you can see, if we take a close look, let's remove this. Let's remove this, the video at the back. It's kind of hard to see, but each of these, the writing here has it's got this shadow. Let's bring back the video. You can see underneath there's like a black shadow underneath. So that's what makes this writing pop. So sometimes you have to go outside of LumaFusion to create these kind of things. And again, all I've done with these, as you can see, is, let's zoom it up a bit, is build these like a pyramid. Yeah. So let's make it a bit more even. So we've got stand, up, and because both of these words are here at the same time, I've had to keep the word stand all the way with the same level with up. Yeah, so it's kind of like Tetris. You're just building things on top of each other. So the next one, it is never. So the it is the longest, is the getting shorter, and never's, and they just follow each other, yeah? So little tricks that you need to do sometimes just to get a decent amount of shadow underneath your text. Open it up, make it in a different in a photo editing app. These things make it pop so much more. So again, Similar kind of thing. You can see along here, I'm just building on top in time with the music. And again, if you look underneath, what I've done with the actual footage is there's a color change. So if we open up the footage here and go down to color and effects, whoops, I'm going to go to high contrast. So I've basically got key points in here. If you have a look, there's a key point at the start. There's a key point in the middle. If I can click on that, key point in the middle, boom, boom. Which is making the contrast get really high. And then at the end, it's gone to a black and white, yeah? Hello, nothing pretty about synth. So I'm using two different techniques here. So from the beginning, it's this color. It's just a normal contrast. By the middle, it gets to a higher contrast. And by the end, it goes to a black and white. So it's a beauty of key points. Again, go back, watch my key points special. And you'll see for the last section, once again, I've used that technique of blurring out the last bit for the most important message of the section. Yeah, so the lyrics are, you know, stand up, it is never too late to change your life, just speak the truth. And I wanted to make this last section, and we all can finally be free to fly. So it was very important to fade Donald Trump out of this section because he's not important. So you can really make emphasis on something in the background losing its relevancy and the lyrics coming to the front. Super, super cool. And for a final thing, this word fly, I've actually made it fly. It's a bit cheesy. I put some rockets underneath this particular image. So yeah, basically I've just taken the word fly, added some fire to it, saved it in GoDaddy, and just used the push up image to make it disappear. And you'll see what I've tried to do here. Let's zoom into this. The next line that comes in, the number is 42. I've tried to make the fly, as soon as it goes off the screen, the next one comes in. Yeah. I can hear birds outside my window. Again, very simple stuff. Push up, push downs. You can see these little transitions, push ups, push downs. We're getting a little bit more complex here. So we'll probably got another 10 minutes. We'll go on with this. With this one, you'll see everything down. So from here, we've got the image. We've got the number 40. Sorry, what's that? That's what is that? The 42. So we've got number 42 and the actual 42 and the word number 42. But you'll notice I've tried to create down the bottom underneath the number 42, the words animate down here. So there's a lot going on in this one, yeah? And how I've done that is, again, just these points, separate words, all lined up together. So we'll go back and have a look at how that works. There's a full screen. Right, so this one's a super complicated one. There's a hell of a lot going on here. You'll notice with this section here, to validate our meaning. Look at that. It is a reverse Tetris, right? So I've actually chopped up all these words. So we've got the top one is to, then we've got val, then id, eight, ow. So I actually had to go in and chop these all up to match with each part of the vocal. And the effect that I've used on here is the B, which is the grow. So again, it's all using the grow effect. Where is our grow? Grow. Scroll to the side. If I passed it, I probably have. Grow. There it is. And you'll notice what's really cool. It's really interesting how it's all grown, because each let's just show you this first one. So see how the word to starts from the middle and then goes and grows to the top? Let's show you what effect that has. So if you are, if you add text and just leave it in the middle and add a grow effect to it, it will, basically, sorry, what I mean is, if you've put text up the top, see how this is up here? I've placed this up the top. And whenever you add a grow effect to it, it will always come from the middle. So it's a really cool thing to understand. So as it comes out, it'll grow up here. So then if you add something over to the left, it'll come from the middle and grow over there. It's really cool. And you don't really have to do anything special. Just place the text where you want it to land, and you can see how it moves out from the center and really animates it and makes it look fancier than what it should. And again with this, they all close out together. There's probably a little bit of an issue with this one. We can fix this. This one doesn't match this top one up here. Let's fix that. I think I can fix that. Oops, didn't want to do that. I should be able to grab this handle and see I can just move that out. So now they're all even. So now they all should vanish together. Really cool. And again, here's another grow. I've used the grow a lot in this, yeah. Because it just, and again, there's a fade out on this one. So they both fade out together. This effect that I've used here, this is a wipe. Again, trying to mix it up, keep it interesting. So we've got a wipe up, a wipe left. There's the wipe left. And you can see the writing here wipes across the screen. Yeah. Again, just trying to keep things interesting. And this is a video underneath that I made myself with a whole lot of people looking at their phones and not looking at each other, which really, and again, so the next text line in here is a swipe coming from the left, and instead of disappearing back out to the left, again, fresh, keep it fresh, and this one shrinks. Boom. If I remove the video, you can see it probably a little bit clearer. There we go. So it's got a push left down here, transition in, and disappears. And now try and, like, this is how I look at it anyway. Try and make things flow on from the last thing. So as this one shrinks out, the next effect is a grow up. So we've gone from a down shrink to a grow up. So it all kind of like, you want these things to flow and have flow. What am I? There's no other word I can find that. And again here, it's a really good idea. You'll see, like I have with this one, the next set of words coming halfway through. So you can really have multiple things going on. So as this zooms up, we've got the next one coming across. And as that one's leaving, we've got the next one growing in. Pretty much like, like a vocal line when you're doing row, row, row your boats and they're crossing over each other. That's the methodology behind it, yeah? So it's all seamlessly growing over and stretching, moving across. Let's have a look at how I did this always streaming, because there's a little bit of a trick to this. You'll see it looks a bit confusing. I've got like a huge push left, and we're looking at this one down here. And it goes for ages. And then it gets to the middle and actually stops for a second. It actually stops, yeah? They are very difficult to put together, but you know what? There's really a good reward for putting in the time. Putting in the time. Because there's nothing better than a really interesting lyric video. You saw Brad's video at the start. Now, he paid somebody on Fiverr to do that, but at the end of the day, this stuff is incredibly easy to do. I mean, and you've seen this all the way through. I'm basically using one track of video footage for each one, and it's all the graphics under, all the lyrics on top that are adding the flavor to pretty much simple stuff underneath. Again, the next. So again, with this next section, let's have a listen. Have a look at this. So already, as you've seen, a lot of the same tricks are being used. I'm using the same tricks over and over with the push downs, the push ups, the grows, the shrinks, the cross dissolves. You can see they're all at the end of each image. It's just in different orders, different sizes. So you can see with this one, we've got something coming across and stopping there. Then it goes back out. The next thing drops down, drops back up. The next thing appears in and appears back out. So there's and the thing is too, it's all about experimentation. This song's nowhere near finished, you know, and not everything's perfect at all. Because we've already covered, you've seen a lot of this stuff so far. I just want to show you this one because I only added this yesterday. Originally, all I had for this clip, let me see, was this. So all I had there was just that word flashing. And you can see how I've done it. This was all just one huge file. Yeah, so if I click on this, it was all just one huge file like that. But I just went in and chopped them all up to be the same size. And chop the pieces out. So to do that, you could just go in and split them all up and delete each part. But what I decided to put in was an image of a homeless person in between them. So if you have a look at the difference, and again, I've just used the same method of this homeless video. So this was all, once again, just one long video here. But I've just gone in and chopped it all up to fit in between all of these points. So as you see the difference, we'll go full screen so you can see it. It just gives you a little bit more. You know, I could actually go in and mess with the video footage a little bit more and make it fade in or add some kind of effects to that. Joe Glenn says, do I have enough years? This tutorial needs watching once or twice. You know what? At the end of the day, Joe, at the end of the day, you just got to dive in and just throw the shit at the wall. Because that's what this video is. I've just thrown everything I can, all these ideas, just thrown it at the wall. And whatever sticks, sticks. And what doesn't, doesn't. And the beautiful thing is you can just delete it, fix it up. And if you find something really good that you like, remember, you can actually select. So you can actually go in here and draw and select a whole section. So I will redraw that. Let's redraw that. So if I want all this part to be later on in the song, you can do that. And you can copy this. You can hit down here and you can select copy. And then you can move along to another part of your song and you can go and paste that in here. You can actually go and paste it in. So remember, copy paste is your friend as well. If you find something really good, copy it, paste it, and then change the words. Change the words around. Cheat. Lie, cheat, steal as much as you can to get to where you need to go. That's there's no right way. So we'll wrap up with here because this is where I kind of stopped. And I'm just going to explain why, with all this stuff that's going on, all these crazy things, why I got to the chorus and decided to keep it very simple with just the words, with no imagery behind it. Because it's the most important part of the song. So don't be afraid to remove all the imagery, right? Let's just play it to show you. So we go from this crazy, flashing, epileptic fit to the most important part of the song. Boom. Make the most important parts of your song stand out with your lyric videos. Very important stuff there. Get the most important message. Make it front and center. Drive it home. With gay abandon. With absolute fucking conviction, yeah? Now, I'm going to wrap up with this. Don't be intimidated by this video. I've shown you a lot of techniques today, a lot of crazy, crazy stuff. Keep it simple to kick off. Keep it absolutely simple. You know, if you don't need to try all this crazy stuff, don't. Just use these transitions to the side just to make things pop up from the bottom and pull down, or make it fade in and fade out. Keep it nice and simple to begin with. Don't put unnecessary pressure on yourself to try and create something as complex as this, right? Seriously, it's not worth the pressure. Seriously, just go easy on yourself. Yeah, you don't deserve to to add too much pressure on yourself to try and make something over the top. Move at the same pace that you've already been moving, because I watch all you guys make your videos and send them into Pete's YML, and I've seen all your music grow and get better and better over the last year and 2 months I've been doing this show, and I've seen all your videos grow and get better as well. So just keep growing, baby steps. Yeah, that's the most important thing. I don't want to see you all stress out over this kind of stuff, but here's what you can do. This is what you can do, and you know what? You can do better than this. I can do better than this. You know, it's all trial and error, no pressure. Alrighty, that's it for today. I'm sorry I've gone over about 15 minutes, but there's a lot to unpack. We will be doing a few more shows on LumaFusion over the coming weeks. We're doing a review of this this weekend as well, this little Mo mixing. Tomorrow we got an interview with... who have we got on the show tomorrow? We have an interview with the man, Tim Roberts, Texas Jackdaw. Next week we've got some apps. We're going to be looking at some really cool photo apps. We're going to be looking at Delirium, some bass amp stuff, which I know for bass players. So we've got a whole lot of cool stuff coming up leading up to Songtember, yeah? So, yeah, thanks all for being here. I hope you've got something, even if it's tiny. That's all that matters. Go away and, you know, have fun doing it. Make your mistakes. Do the things that make you happy. And remember, we all rise together. That is the most important thing. Thank you very much for being here. I love you all. You all rock. Hey, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe. Hit the like. It helps out. And I love you all. Yeah. Have a great day. And I'll see you tomorrow. Let's go out with this clip for your enjoyment. Once again, to bore you, I'll play the whole song through and you'll see all the unfinished lyrics. And I'll see you again tomorrow, yeah, for the interview with Tim Roberts. Take care. Do the things that make you happy. Bye-bye.
set